Zambia is a landlocked country that is a major exporter of copper. The country is an emerging market with significant potential, but its growth is dependent on the availability and accessibility of energy. Energy plays a critical role in Zambia's economic development. On Friday, 8 September 2023, in his speech during the official opening of the third session of the 13th National Assembly, President Hakainde Hichilema made some reflections on the progress the nation was making in the energy sector. The president noted that the electricity subsector recorded an increase in the national installed generation capacity at 3,790 megawatts during the first half of this year from 3,306 megawatts in 2021.
Government is putting in place various interventions to take advantage of existing opportunities for growth in the energy sector. The electricity subsector recorded an increase in the national installed generation capacity, Madam Speaker, standing at 3,790 megawatts. If you like, 3.79 gigawatts. During this first half of the year only, and this is an increase from the previous figure of 3,306 megawatts in 2021. We can do more. Completion and commissioning of the Kafue Gorge Lower Hydropower Station and the Riverside Solar Plant, a new plant by the Copperbelt Energy Corporation, were some of those that contributed to this increase.
On 15th February 2023, President Hakainde Hichilema commissioned the 33 megawatts Copperbelt Energy Corporation solar plant in Kitwe, built at a cost of $22 million.
That we need to double, more than double this energy, so we can support the needs of industry. I wish to reiterate the importance of this trust around energy security for our country. Energy moves the economy, moves industry, moves mines. To get our miners to go underground without secure, reliable energy is basically telling our miners to go down and maybe never come back up to their families. That's serious. It's as serious as that. Sometimes we take what we have for granted.
Zambia has the potential to generate electricity from solar, wind, biomass, and other renewables, such as geothermal energy, and our government's aim is to leverage this potential to improve the energy mix and reduce our vulnerability to climate shocks.
Photovoltaic or PV power plant is, however, our first big foray into the renewable energy development space, but certainly not our last. In 2018, we developed our pilot solar PV plant, which came with many other intentions and benefits.
On 24th March 2023, President Hakainde Hichilema switched on the fifth generator of the Kafue Gorge Lower Hydropower Station, completing the commissioning of the project, which has added 750 megawatts of power to the national grid.
Energy investment is important to energy sufficiency and surplus to this country, to the region. We must continue focusing on sufficiency of energy at the local level, but also for exports. When we do that, obviously, the economy will grow, jobs will be created, but more importantly, we'll be able to bring in the supply side of foreign exchange to stabilize our foreign exchange market.
Minister of Infrastructure, Charles Milupi, who was standing in for Minister of Energy, stressed that the implementation of the project was not without challenges, adding that despite all that, foresight and determination by ZESCO prevailed against all odds.
The implementation of this project was not without challenges, the most incapacitating being the COVID-19 pandemic. The pandemic led to global closure of borders, which directly impacted ZESCO's ability to access equipment and the requisite personnel in some instances. However, foresight and determination on the part of ZESCO led to the success story we are telling today. Your Excellency, distinguished invited guests, ladies and gentlemen, during the project timeline, the electricity subsector continued to face numerous challenges due to non-cost reflective tariffs and hydrological challenges, which resulted in ZESCO's poor financial state and a low participation by private sector developers.
I would like to express my sincere appreciation to the Zambian government led by His Excellency President Mr. Hakainde Hichilema. Your vision and leadership have been instrumental in making this project reality. I would also like to thank the Ministry of Energy, the Chinese Embassy in Zambia, ZESCO, and KGL management for their unwavering support throughout the construction process. In the meanwhile, I would also like to take this opportunity to thank all the employees of Sinohydro on site, Zambian and Chinese, for their hard work and countless sweat. Today, your diligence and skills have successfully brought power and light to Zambia.
The development signifies the great importance and commitment ZESCO places towards growing the energy sector, and in turn enhance the contribution in the direction of national economic recovery, sustained growth, and social transformation. As a corporation, ZESCO profoundly understands that reliable and sustainable power supply plays a pivotal role in the development of Zambia, as energy is key to achieving the government's ambitious program and positioning Zambia as an industrial hub for the region and rapidly raise the economic activities such as projected threefold increase in mineral extractives expected in the next 10 years. Therefore, as a key player in achieving these objectives, ZESCO pledges to continue working in a cooperative, coordinated, constructive, to borrow Mr. President's word, meticulous, not necessarily slow, but with stakeholders in tandem with pronouncements in the 8th National Development Plan. And for ZESCO specifically, we picked out 4 that affect us directly. Enhancing operational efficiency of ZESCO Limited, including its cost structure. Efficiently expanding power generation, transmission, and distribution infrastructure to enhance industrial connectivity and indeed power uptake.
The President said energy remains high on the government's economic transformation agenda and is essential to accelerating Zambia's rise to prominence as a general hub for manufacturing and processing.
In an effort to scale up investment in renewable energy, very important given climate change challenges that we have as a country and the world, our national power utility company, ZESCO, has signed several power purchase agreements with various local, Madam Speaker, and international investors. I am proud, Madam Speaker, that the UPND New Dawn government has worked on the bureaucracy around issuance of power purchase agreements from a time when it could take 26 months, 2 years plus, to get a power purchase agreement signed. We are now able to agree a power purchase agreement in a matter of days, even within 10 days, as opposed to many years, as I said, in the past. These are the reforms that will inject more generation capacity, transmission, and others in the sector.
The President also stated that in order to scale up investment in renewed energy, the Zambia Electricity Supply Corporation, ZESCO, has signed several power purchase agreements with various local and international investors to ensure universal access to affordable and sustainable electricity for consumers through private and public investment in all parts of the country.
Our desire is to ensure universal access to affordable and sustainable electricity for all our people throughout the country. Increased private and public investment in all parts of the country is very important, essential. Cost reflectiveness in the electricity tariffs is another issue. We will attract more investment and contribute to our goal of energy sufficiency and surplus, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, by way of illustration, this UPND government, New Dawn, will not enter into any power purchase agreement that makes ZESCO lose money, even before they do any business in 1 megawatt. This was a practice in the past. You will never see this again. That's why we built a huge debt mountain, which we are beginning to dismantle, just under ZESCO alone. That was a political decision. This political group will not do anything of that sort. And you'll see the benefits in a few years going on. To promote competition and allow for non-discriminatory access to electricity, Madam Speaker, here is another revolutionary decision that we have taken. And distribution of infrastructure. By the private sector, government is in the process of implementing what is called an open access regime. Private sector players, anyone, private sector players will be able to wield power to their customers and will also help remove ZESCO from entering into unsustainable power purchase agreements, as I have said again. You produce power, Madam Speaker, at point A in the country. The transmission lines are owned by ZESCO. ZESCO will be obligated to move your power to your customer at point B. All they need to do is pay a wheeling charge. And this will be revolutionary. You will see that very soon, working its numbers through the economy and, of course, job creation.
The President further stated that to promote competition and allow for non-discriminatory access to electricity transmission and distribution infrastructure by the private sector, government is in the process of implementing an open access regime. In the petroleum sub-sector, the President said that upon assuming office, his government was committed to guaranteeing security of supply of petroleum products. To achieve this, government has disengaged from procuring and financing petroleum products to allow more private sector participation in the supply chain.
Upon assuming office, we committed to guaranteeing security of supply of petroleum products. To achieve this, government has disengaged from procuring, as we said before, disengaged from procuring and financing petroleum products to allow for more private sector participation in the supply chain. A structured, Madam Speaker, a structured and coordinated system is being implemented for importing petroleum products at a competitive price to ensure sustainability of supply and stability of pump prices. It's a process we're going through, and the benefits will be seen soon. Save the international oil prices increments, which we have no control over. But things under our control, the government is working on them.
Indeed, energy plays a critical role in Zambia's economic development. Without energy, the country cannot harness its full potential. To achieve sustainable economic growth, Zambia needs to invest in new energy infrastructure, such as power plants and transmission lines. A reliable and accessible energy supply will enable the country to support its mining industry, foster industrialization, support SMEs, and improve its infrastructure.